All right, so buckle up,
Uh,
because today we're diving deep into this book, God or Space. What difference does it make? It's by Walter Mayer, and let me tell you, this one really got me thinking.
It's a wild ride, that's for sure.
Seriously. It challenges like everything you think you know about, well, existence,
Hmm.
truth, consciousness, the whole shebang.
It's heady stuff, no doubt, but Mirror, he lays it all out in a way that, I don't know, makes you actually want to think about it.
Yeah, no, totally. It's not like reading some
Hmm.
stuffy philosophy textbook, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. It's structured in three parts. And, well, each one kind of builds on the last. We've got perception of space and time. Then we get into the concept of God and its relation to space.
And then finally, the big finish, the search for meaning and the role of creativity.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so let's start with this whole perception of space and time thing. Mara comes right out the gate challenging this idea that more knowledge automatically equals more happiness.
Yeah, like if we just learn enough, figure it all out, we'll finally be content.
Right. Like that's what we're all striving for, right? Like just get all the answers and then boom, happiness. But Mara's like, hold up, is that really how it works?
He really makes you question it.
Like,
Like, think about just waiting for something, anything, a phone call, waiting for someone to show up.
oh yeah, the word.
Same hour, it can feel like an eternity,
I
right?
totally can.
But then when you're completely absorbed in something you love, like hours can just vanish, poof, just like that.
Yeah, it's like a time doesn't even exist.
Exactly. So it makes you wonder, is time even this fixed thing, or do we actually have a role in shaping it with our minds, with our perceptions?
Whoa, okay, that's kind of trippy. But like, where does God fit into all this? How do you get from like time not being real
Hmm.
to God? That's a big jump for me.
Well, it all comes back to meaning, how we create meaning in our lives. And Marer, he really digs into the words we use, how their meanings can change, how they evolve over time. It's like if we can't even fully understand words like time or space, like you were just saying, how can we be so sure we have a handle on something as huge and complex as God?
Hmm. Okay, I see what you're saying. So basically, Mirror is saying we gotta like re-examine these basic concepts, these building blocks of our understanding, before we can even start talking about God.
Right.
Okay, so let's get to the God part, part two. What's he actually saying about God?
Well, he throws out this big question. Is God just an abstract idea, or is it something more, like something beyond our comprehension? And he uses this analogy of a map of a city.
Okay, I like analogies.
So you have this map, right? It represents the city. It shows you the streets, the buildings, everything. But it's not the city itself, right? It's just a limited representation.
Right, just a piece of paper.
Exactly. And Mayer is suggesting that maybe our concept of God is kind of like that map, just a limited representation of something way bigger, something we can't even fully grasp.
So he's not saying God doesn't exist, just that maybe we're only seeing a tiny part of the picture.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And that bigger picture, well, it might challenge some beliefs that people hold very, very dear.
All right. But that's kind of the point, isn't it? Like,
Mhm.
Mirror's pushing us to be more open-minded, to question what we think we know, and be open to new perspectives on spirituality.
Absolutely. And that open-mindedness, that questioning, it leads right into part three, which is all about finding meaning through creativity. And this isn't just about like painting or writing poetry. He's talking about living a creative life, period.
Yeah, like making creativity a part of everything you do.
Right. He's saying tap into that creative energy, that spark inside you. And life becomes a lot more, I don't know, vibrant, engaging. He connects creativity to this idea of psychological time and space.
Psychological time and space. Okay, that sounds a little complicated. What does that even mean?
It's actually pretty simple. It's about how we experience the world internally. Like, think about how differently you experience the same place depending on your mood.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, like a park. A park can feel peaceful and expansive when you're happy, right?
Totally.
But that same park, it can feel cramped and claustrophobic if you're anxious.
Like the walls are closing in?
Yeah. It's the same physical space, but your internal experience of it, that changes completely. And Mehrer believes that by embracing creativity, we can actually reshape that internal landscape. And in doing so, connect more deeply with reality itself.
Okay, so like by being creative, we're actually changing how we experience the world around us.
Exactly.
Now, there's one more thing I wanted to touch on, gratitude. Merritt talks a lot about gratitude, and it's not just some fluffy feel-good stuff. He actually weaves it in to his whole philosophical argument.
Yeah, it's like a central theme throughout the book. And it makes sense when you think about it. It's not just about feeling grateful. It's about understanding how gratitude can shift your whole perspective. Like Marer says, when you focus on what you appreciate, even the small things, it opens up a whole new way of experiencing the world. And that can be incredibly powerful.
Okay, so let's bring it all home. What's the takeaway here? What's Mirror trying to tell us with God or space?
I think it's a call to examine our beliefs about, well, everything really. About time, space, God, meaning, the whole 9 yards.
It's like he's saying, don't take anything for granted. Question everything.
Right, and embrace that power of creativity to find deeper meaning in life. It's a journey.
Yeah, it's a wild one, but definitely worth taking. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it? If our ideas about space and time can change so drastically just by shifting our perspective, what else might be possible?
Ooh, good question.
Right. Like, how might our understanding of something as profound as God evolve as we continue to learn and grow?
That's definitely something to ponder.
Totally. So if you're ready to have your mind blown wide open, go grab a copy of Mirror's God or Space.
It's a wild ride, but I promise you won't regret it. Until next time, keep those brains buzzing.
Happy exploring.